Ladies and gentlemen, the patch notes have dropped for tonight's mid-month update, and this is probably the biggest mid-month we've ever seen, which is pretty exciting, but it also means that it's going to create some waves, and I think the community is divided. Some people are really excited, some people are really upset, so let's dive into what we're going to get. Emma Frost, Groot, and Shalabal will be getting Tier 4. That's right, Shalabal is the first character ever, Silver Surfer Shalabal, to get a Day 1 Tier 4, as well as a Day 1 Tier 3. And then Emma and Groot are getting uniforms and Tier 4. This is going to be a rolling patch, so there's going to be no downtime maintenance, but you're going to just open up your game or close your game and reopen it, and then you'll get prompted to download the patch, and then you can jump into the game. It's going to start rolling out at 8 p.m. Pacific, which is 11 p.m. Eastern, but it's usually an hour to half an hour earlier. So I'll be live here on YouTube tonight around 10:30 p.m., about half an hour before these rolling patches usually come out, and then we'll dive in and check everything out. So what are we getting here? We're getting Shalabal as a new universal supervillain alien female character. Now the big sort of drama right now and the big kerfuffle in the community that has players divided is the acquisition method. It's just straight crystals. She's like Adam Warlock in the sense that you just have to pay a large chunk of crystals to unlock her at 3 stars. She's a native tier 2 character like Adam Warlock, and yeah, she's originally priced at 6,600 crystals, just like Adam Warlock. And then for the for the discount, she's dropped down to 5,280 crystals, which is a 20% discount. And then presumably, like Adam Warlock and these other characters, during Black Friday, which is a few months from now, 4 or 5 months from now, she'll be discounted an additional 10% down to about 4,700 crystals. So you're looking at a price tag of either 5,300 or 4,700 crystals to get this character. And that's the big pain point for the community right now. And yeah, it's tough. It happens. Listen, I don't like the acquisition method for this character. I think it's boring. I think it would be more interesting if you had to unlock her through some sort of quest, through some sort of epic trial or something like that. That's always way more fun, even if you have to pay crystals to unlock this thing, like you do with Epic Quest Deluxe Pack characters, right? You pay crystals to unlock a mission that you can then farm infinitely. You know, all of those methods are better, even though some of them can end up costing more crystals, like Hope Summers. I think those are all better than this one, because this one just feels like you're just you're just destroying a bunch of crystals for the character. So yeah, it is a bit of a bummer. It does kind of suck. But then on the other hand, I can't be so irate about this because we already have this in the game, right? Adam exists. There's a bunch of other crystal characters as well. It's not a new thing for the game. So I am a bit mixed. I am a bit torn about this, but I do think that Shalabal is literally heralding the coming Galactus Epic Quest. I know some people were saying, oh, they found the Galactus icon through the timeline quest. Alex, we're not actually getting a Galactus Epic Quest. You're coping, you're this, you're that. Listen, some very weird things are happening at Netmarble right now. Okay, despite the fact that the events for this update basically are rushing through, because we already have the token event quest, we already have the timeline survival, we already have, you know, these events that usually only happen in the last week of before a new update, which made people think that this was going to be just, you know, a very short 2-week mid-month, before the next update. Despite that, if you go over here to the advanced notice of the daily tier 4 upgrade support price reduction, this post itself doesn't matter. It's from a few days ago. But what matters is they've already revealed the date for the next update. And it's 8/19, which is August 19th. They literally say the 8/19 update, and they literally say the 8/19 maintenance, update maintenance, which means it's a main update. And if you look on your calendars, today's the 29th. The 19th is 3 weeks from now. So they are very awkwardly delaying the next update by exactly 1 week, which is very unusual. They always do 2 weeks. So we were thinking it's either going to be this update, 2 weeks, the next full update, or this update, 2 weeks, a mid-month, another 2 weeks, the main update, but never 3 weeks. 3 weeks is quite unusual. Now, maybe because it's 3 weeks, they decided to add in Shalabal tier 4 in addition to Groot and Emma Frost. Or maybe she's literally and figuratively heralding the coming Galactus update. And I wouldn't be surprised. iBig actually put this idea in my head. He inceptioned me, so don't blame me for this idea. Blame him. He suggested, what if you need Shalabal to unlock Galactus? And they're trying to basically double dip on the crystal spending. Because we saw in the last Epic Quest last year that they made us pay an extra 1,100 crystals for Hope Summers for no reason. It was just like, hey, the existing cost of all of these characters is 6,600. Let's just make it 7,700. Let's just up it, right? Let's just go up by 1,100 crystals. And we were all just like, what the hell? And Hope was pretty good, but she was nothing special for the extra 1,100 crystals. She wasn't even she's not even tier 4able. Maybe this time they're going to go back to 6,600 crystals, or maybe not. Maybe they're going to stay at 7,700, but you're also going to need Shalabal. Anyways, I'm just saying, guys, we might need a lot of crystals. That's all I'm saying. We might need a lot of crystals. It's just speculation. Now, the other thing here, and the thing to remember that's important, in addition to what I've said already, is that if Shalabal is really good, then it justifies her crystal cost a lot more than if she's mediocre or bad. And this was the other thing with Adam as well. Adam was frustrating for a long time because he was bad. And I actually looked up the video for when he first came out, Adam Moneylock, or you could read it Adam Asslock. But this was 7 years ago when he came out, and I was talking about how expensive he was because he was that first character, and he was super duper expensive. And he wasn't very good at the time when he came out. He was not strong. And that was really frustrating for players because they're paying for something that's not good. So I think the ultimate reaction to Shalabal is going to be whether or not she's good. If she's really good, but not too good, she can't be like broken OP. But if she's really good and then it sort of justifies her price a little bit, then it kind of makes a little bit more sense. But if she's bad or she's mediocre, then it's really going to hurt for players who invest in her early. But let's take a look at her kit here. She gets 30% reflect, 30% of all damage received. So she has the Silver Surfer. She has the Norrin Rad reflect, which is the exact same as his, 30-30. She gets the 35-35 skill damage, bonus damage, and then 40% damage reduction. Exactly the same as her hubby, the Silver Surfer, the OG Silver Surfer. And actually, the OG Silver Surfer doesn't have skill damage bonus damage, and she does. So that's actually kind of crazy. The debuff duration on all allies for her leadership is bad, but then she has Cosmic Purification, which cleanses all allies. So she does get the cleanse, and she does, have the possibility to be like a very juiced up support character for things like Otherworld Battle. So we have a new cleanse character, which is quite nice. She then has Bleed, Paralysis, and Burn on her kit. She has iframe Ignore. She has 100% chance to penetrate all damage immunities for 4 seconds. She has 4 seconds of invincibility here with a frenzy buff. She has accumulation here, another frenzy buff here with a 20% heal, and 5 seconds of immunity. A little bit worried about her healing. It seems like she doesn't have enough healing. She only has the 20% heal, which is pretty low. If we look at Silver Surfer, he has a 25% heal on his 3rd skill, which is also his counterattack iframe Ignore ability. Her having it on the 3rd skill that doesn't have iframe Ignore is going to be a little bit tricky for her to actually get that skill off. But on the plus side, it's got a 12-second cooldown, which means she can pop it every 6 seconds. So it'll be interesting to see if she can survive. If you're wondering where her revive is to make her the same as Silver Surfer, she gets it from her artifact. So yeah, quite a bit more paywall than the Silver Surfer, but we'll have to wait and see. She does look pretty good, but we'll have to wait and see how she plays in game. Then we have the new uniforms for Groot and Emma. They're both seasonal, so we know how that works. For Groot, it's going to cost the full amount. It's going to cost 1,750 crystals. There's going to be no discount on Groot. And then for Emma Frost, it's going to cost 30 of the Summer 2025 tokens. Remember that with the tokens, you do get a 7-day check-in on the 7th day, which would be on August 7th, I believe, or August 6th. August 6th. You will be able to get 10 tokens for free. So if you wait until August 6th, then you only have to buy a pack that gives you an additional 20 tokens rather than 30 tokens. So you can save some money here if you're willing to wait a week after the update lands to get Emma Frost's Summer Queen. Now, as far as her kit goes, I think most of it is the same. I'll take a look here. She keeps the same, like, you know, hero, blast, mutant, obviously. Her uniform effect used to be just 20% energy attack, but now they've added the super armor all defense 20% and the immunity to incapacitation. The immunity to incapacitation used to be only triggered when she was attacking, and it had a cooldown and stuff, but now it's just a flat effect. So that's actually a pretty good buff there. Her tier 2 passive remains the same with a 60-100 with the 50 increased mind damage, 50% increased mind damage. And then her mind cloaking also remains the same with the 40% max HP, 30% guaranteed dodge. And then, oh, the skill damage bonus damage was almost doubled. The skill damage was increased from 20 to 25, and the bonus damage was increased from 10 to 20%. So that is pretty good. As far as her skills go, she keeps the third skill, iframe ignore, with the 30% heal, which is really, really nice. And it also has the 85% damage reduction for 10 seconds, like diamond form. And then it has the accumulation as well. This one is actually better than her old one because her old one did not have the heal. Her heal was on her 5th skill, so they moved it to her 3rd skill, which is her bread and butter skill. So that's actually very, very good. And they also lowered the cooldown from 18 seconds to 15 seconds. So they basically made Emma's like one trick even stronger, a lot stronger. So that is actually quite nice. And they added incapacitation to the skill, which is also quite nice there. So a lot going on here for Sunbath for her 3rd skill, which is quite nice. She has mind control and paralysis on her 4th skill, Beach Mirage, which used to have invincibility, but it's okay. And then she has the a frenzy buff here with the 5 seconds of immunity, which basically was moved from her. No, it wasn't moved from her 5th skill. No, yeah, it's just new, I guess. Yeah, because her 3rd skill used to not have any kind of defense at all. It just had the all defense, but it didn't have invincibility or immunity. And then she only had invincibility on her 4th skill. So they actually added, so this is actually pretty good. They actually just gave her an additional 5 seconds of invincibility that she never had before. So yeah, quite strong here. Quite a strong kit for Emma. Looks quite strong, I have to say. And then Groot, staying as a combat hero. Again, 1750 for the crystals. His uniform effect applies just to himself and increases his attack by 30%, which is the same as before. The recovery rate and then the skill damage bonus damage was just increased by 5%. So basically the same uniform effect. His ult is just getting a different skill name and icon, but it's going to do the same damage, have the same number of hits. Just to match the summer theme, beckoning of the beach instead of beckoning of nature. His tier 2 passive was changed, so they got rid of, thankfully, they got rid of the Guardians BS, and it's now just all alien allies. They're going to deal 45% increased damage to boss types, so it seems like Groot is going to replace Beta Ray Bill for content where you can use either Beta Ray Bill or Groot. So obviously it's not going to replace Beta Ray Bill for universal content because he's not universal, but for any sort of alien content or male content or hero content, you can use Groot instead of Beta Ray Bill because it's 45 instead of Beta Ray Bill's, I believe, 35. So it's better. It's kind of annoying. I thought, he should have had something more interesting than that. But yeah, it's otherwise the same because it applies just to alien allies. It also has the heal, but let's be real, the 20% heal every 15 seconds, it's pretty bad. This is not really going to matter for PvP. He keeps the heal on himself, the revive, sorry. He has a V-pad skill called Wood Surfer, which sounds quite nice. He has accumulation on his 3rd skill, Coconut Shake, which is the same as before with a 1 second lower cooldown, which is nice. He's got the 25% heal on his 4th skill with the Frenzy buff and the immunity. And then he's got the invincibility with the damage proc, which is the same. And they basically bumped his heal by 5% and moved it from his 5th skill to his 4th skill. So Groot looks pretty similar from his last uniform, just a little bit better, a little bit more generically good. And then the tier 3s and the tier 4. So Shalabal's getting a tier 3. She does the black hole from the movie, from the Fantastic Four, which honestly looks really, really good. So kudos to the art team that made the animation there. It looks really nice. The skill also looks really strong. It gives her 100% ignore dodge for 10 seconds. It gives her higher penetration, invincibility, and basic attack. It's quite a long string of buffs there. And then her tier 4. So yeah, she's the first character to get tier 4 right away, right out the gate, when she was released as a brand new character. which is pretty big because we've never seen this before. And I think this also heralds like a shift in the game where we're going to start to see characters coming out with tier 4 from day 1, maybe with an epic quest, maybe with a big purple guy, who knows. Her striker skill's pretty good. She heals 15% of her HP for 7 seconds, and then she increases her basic damage by 70%, and it decays by 10% every second. So she has kind of a PvE, PvP ability there with cosmic healing. And then Emma Frost and Groot are also getting their tier 4s. Emma's tier 4 increases her damage dealt to targets with a higher HP than her, which is common because she's Blast. And then it decreases the damage that she takes from targets with a lower max HP, which doesn't seem very good at first glance, but then you think, what typing is good against Blast? Oh, that's right, Speed. Which character class is likely to have less HP than Blasts, who have the second lowest HP on average? Oh, that's right, Speed characters. So, yeah. Actually a very good PvP tier 4 ability. And then Groot's tier 4 ability increases his size, the character size, which we always love, kind of like a thematic ability. It increases his attack and his defense, and then it heals him as well. So pretty decent tier 4s all around. Pretty decent balancing. It seems like whoever understands the balancing of Marvel Future Fight maybe is back in the office for a little while. Hopefully they can kidnap this person or chain them down to their office. Not kidnap them. Lock them in the office and make them do the updates for the rest of the year. Who knows? Then we have the artifact for Shalabal, where she revives with 80% of her HP, but that's at 6 stars. So it's going to be less than 80% when you go down. It's probably going to be like 70 at 5 stars, 60 at 4 stars, and then 50 at 3 stars. But she also gets an HP increase based on her total instinct. So that's pretty nice too. She will just boost her HP total after that. So it does suck a little bit that the revive, which is sort of core to the Silver Surfer kit, is locked behind her artifact. That does kind of suck. They decided to power creep it a little bit by giving her the HP increase on top of it. So yeah, it's pretty pay to win. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Yeah, it's pretty pay to win. We're just gonna have to wait and see how good Shalabal is. Like I know I feel, on the one hand, I kind of feel bad saying her cost is justified if she's good, because then it sounds like I really want it to be pay to win, because that's the win part of pay to win. But the thing is, if she's weak, then it's even worse, right? Like it's sort of like some people lose or everybody loses. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I mean, utilitarian wise, one is better than the other. I'm not saying that's my opinion. I'm just saying that's a thing that you can think. But yeah, I'm just, I think if she's good, that it becomes like an aspirational thing where players can choose to spend their crystals on her in the future. If she's bad, then players are just going to be really mad. So I do see the benefit of her being good, but I also recognize that it's very pay to win, and that sucks. We got the new uniform collection for the Fantastic Four. The best part of the Fantastic Four here is that they give you 100 Godstones. I really wanted to make that joke. I know it's not very funny. I laughed at my own joke. You can throw tomatoes at me now. And then, yeah, they're fixing the icon for Ironheart's 5th skill. So there you go. That's the update, guys. We have the events already coming out for the update as well. Just kind of standard fare here. All uniforms are going to be on sale as well. So there's going to be a 40% sale. There's going to be a discount on unequipping artifacts. And there's going to be a 1 to 6 gambling chance up on artifacts as well. You also have the discounts, the 20% discounts for Shalabal and Emma Frost. And then you also have a Shield Archive event, which has false advertising. So we always love a good bit of false advertising in Marvel Future Fight. It happens a lot these days because the people that are working on this don't know anything about the game, and they just copy and paste from previous updates. But basically, this was a previous Shield Archive event where we were getting a P card, a random artifact, and an Odin's Blessing. As you can see here, the rewards are completely different. It's tier 3 materials, tier 4 materials, and a CTP. I'm not going to say which one is better. You can come to that conclusion on your own. But I'm telling you right now, they're just going to apologize and they're going to change the graphic here. They're not going to update these rewards, guys. I'm just telling you right now so you don't get disappointed. False expectations, whatever, high expectations. I mean, it would be nice if they added the P card. Shit, don't get me wrong. But I think it's just some intern is going to get yelled at, and that's going to be it. Also, keep in mind for the seasonal uniforms, the previous seasonal uniforms are going to appear again. Some of them are discounted, as you can see here. You have Enchantress, Silk, and Storm, which now only cost 20 instead of 30. Next year, presumably, Luna Snows will also be discounted to 20. That's going to be a big year for players, and probably when they finally power creep Luna for that tag there, or when they finally change the ABX ABL restrictions so she's not as dominant. But yeah, just straight up, I don't need to make a video on this. Enchantress sucks, Silk sucks, so Storm sucks. They've all been replaced. Sorry, Silk has not been replaced. Enchantress and Storm have both been replaced by much better crystal cost uniforms. So unless you're a collector, there's no reason to get these uniforms. The only one you should be considering genuinely besides Emma is Luna. Hopefully that helps, guys. Thanks so much for watching the video. I know it was long. Thanks for tanking all my voice for 20 minutes. Appreciate you. I'll be live tonight at 10:30. In the meantime, smash the like button if you're enjoying the content. Don't do your dailies after the update if you want to like try to get potential or try to shalla-bal or whatever. Shalla-bal yourself. I'll be shalla-balling myself on camera. Anyways, cheers, guys.